Hey everybody, Jerry X Good Fitness and the Second Chance program. And today we're gonna talk about why the Second Chance program. What do we do here? How do we get people so much results, and especially women? So how to give people results? It comes down to movement versus progress. Okay, movement is like staying, moving but staying on the same place all the time. Progress is moving forward. First of all, how do we get people results, and specifically working with women, like I said, we basically focus on, first of all, in asking a lot of questions. We need to figure out, what are the goals, and specifically when it comes down to goal, is always going to come down to, unfortunately, pain. Most people want to move away from where they are. They want to move towards a goal, and they will need to make some clarity in the actual pain that they experience, okay? So whether or not you want to see your abdominal, whether or not you want to obviously get back into your dress, if you want to look like a fighter, or you would like to do kickboxing, if you want to get ready for a contest, if you're a mom that you want to be able to play more with your kids, it comes down to this idea that right now you don't have, what you want. And really you have to ask yourself, what is the underlying pain, that is covered by these things that I just highlighted, right? If you want to dress up or if you want to wear a bikini, chances are you need a little bit more self-confidence. This is probably what you lack, especially if you are a few kilo overweight. Probably even self-love. We have a lot of people, a lot of women in our program that start off with this deep story, maybe they've been abused, maybe they are probably depressed, and the lack of the look that they want was causing that, right? So like fixing that, or maybe at least understanding where you're coming from, it's a huge bonus for you to be able to actually move away from this identity. Is that for security? You want to look like a fighter, you want to be almost like having the ability to protect from other people, right? Especially when you're a woman, right? Or of course, energy and health. You want to be able to keep up, having all the energy so you can play with your child again, maybe not so much in shape like this mom here. Maybe you have a few kilo overweight. That's what is preventing you from actually playing and have the energy, or doing the stair and you feel tired, right? So what is the underlying identity, right? Then you need to figure out specifically what is the main obstacle, right? We just saw, what the pain it is right now and why the pain is a problem for you, but what is the main obstacle staying in between you, right? Is that confusion, right? We live in such a confusing world right now. Like, you just jump online, you go on Google, you go on YouTube, and you see every single day something different, on what to do. You're telling yourself, maybe you're telling me when we speak, you're telling me, I'm eating healthy, right? I'm exercising. I feel like I'm eating pretty healthy, but I'm not seeing results. Why is that, right? So you probably a lot of confusion going on in your mind. Is it because you have poor scheduling? This might be another option, right? Maybe it's both of these two things that I said. But it's because you have poor scheduling. Bad scheduling, bad habits is not allowing you to, to squeeze the workout in. It's not allowing you to get the food ready. It's not allowing you to get, things that you need to be done, that obviously, and you find excuses, right? I mean, like, this is one of the three main reasons we pretty much figure out to be why women cannot get the results they want. And the lastly, of course, binge eating, comfort eating, eating for emotion, and obviously not being in control from food. So what is the strategy for you? Everybody asks, what is the right strategy to lose weight? How do we help, 500 women already, and, not only change the look that they have, but basically change the way they feel inside? And how do we do that over time? Because it's not about how much weight you lose, it's about, or how in shape you get, is about to keep the shape, right? So, what is the right strategy for you? If you're confused, chances are, right? And again, like, I'm setting pretty much out, all the problems that we just said before. But all these three problems will have different strategy, and you need to find the strategy for you, right? So again, if you're confused, probably you want to learn a thing or two about energy level, right? You're confused about the fact that, should you eat carbohydrates? Should you eat, protein? Should you be a vegan? Which one is the best? Chances are, and not chances are, but like all this dietistic protocol, stay on the base level of energy level. So how many calories you need, how many calories your metabolism need, and how to make a safe calorie deficit by working out more or eating less or both, right? So we need to learn about that. If you don't know or if you're not getting results from your current exercise and nutrition, even though you feel like you're doing good, chances are your metabolism got used to it, right? So you do need to compensate and understand how. If you are very, very busy, you probably need to learn how to meal prep, right? You need to learn how to find a strategy without taking a lot of your time that you can actually meal prep or squeeze a few workouts in during the week, even if you're traveling or if you're working 100%, because chances are, even if there was a magic pill, which there isn't, but if it was, and he gave you the body you want, you wouldn't be able to maintain it because you need consistency over time. And of course, the last one, and this is very, very common, you need to take care of the root problem. If you have a eating compulsive behavior, you need to understand if you're eating because you're bored, you're eating because you're sad, you're eating because you're annoyed by something, because you're lonely. If you don't figure out the problem, chances are any kind of comfort eating, especially when we're talking about binges, we're talking about food, it comes down to be able to you probably eat much, much more than the body is able to compensate. Okay, and like if you don't fix that, and this goes for alcohol, by the way, as well. So if you eat for comfort or you drink, such as I was doing in the past, because again, this is actually part of my background. I'm a coach for over 20 years, but I can empathize with people because I did have my own struggles from things that happened into my past. So you do need to understand what is the root cause, because if you don't understand the problem, you're always going to put band-aids and band-aids on top of the open wound, and you're not going to be able to overcompensate a bad diet. How do we actually coach, and why is this thing so successful? We have what is called a trifecta. The trifecta, it comes down to, first of all, the right strategy. You do need a strategy, you do need the right one, but while everybody thinks that it's only the strategy that counts, the right information is only responsible about 30% or a little bit more. Basically, you all need a workout and a nutrition that fits your need. You all need to complete milestones. The one thing on top that you see is small little targets every week that we get to adjust with me or one of my coaches with you, in a sense that we have this conversation going on in our minds that is like, we give you something to do, you do it, and based on your body feedback, we give you an adjustment. There is no such a way like giving you something or something universal for everybody that usually are called diets, right? That you can actually do and have a result. Like in 6 weeks time or in 12 weeks time, your body can develop mechanism of compensation very fast. So you do need to adjust every single time. And this is why you need a coach, because otherwise you could just go online and get any kind of free information you want. You don't need to actually get into a program. You can get this thing for free. What we do here instead is really about finding the right information for you, the right strategy for you. That's why we put a lot of work into it, and you need to understand that part as well. The second one on the bottom is the rule of success. You need to set yourself up with a code that is going to highlight the changes that you need to make and the person that you need to become. You need to be able to say to yourself 5 or 6 rules that you have in your life, and you need to be able to maintain it for long enough. Because if you have this idea that you say, I'm going to do something, and then like tomorrow you change your mind, chances are it's not going to happen. In this challenge, in this program, we have a code belief, and a code belief says in rule number 2, be impeccable with your word. So if you say you're gonna want to change, you better damn want to change, right? Not only saying and then not doing it, because that's gonna reflect not success, it's gonna reflect failure, right? And then of course on the left side we have the environment. You know that as well as I do, that if you want to stop eating bad and you keep the food inside your house that you should not be eating, chances are sooner or later you're going to give up. Likewise, if you hang out with people that always want to go to McDonald's, probably you're probably not going to be successful anyway, because one time, even if they're your closest friend, you're going to say no and no and no, but one day you're going to give in, and that's is responsible to actually having a bad environment, right? You see on top is actually the coach or the leader. We're gonna be always there to adjusting for you, to lead you through the way, to teach you ownership, and to make sure that you do the things that you're supposed to be doing daily. And this is actually here, this is actually reflects what people come. People come with us with zero identity, with this story that says, I'm not good enough, I cannot do this, I can't. And this word is like, I cannot do. And obviously giving you a set of rules reflects the fact that you can improve over time and you can get better, right? As you said on top, lack of knowledge or lack of strategy. We give you the right information for you according to your lifestyle, according to the desire and goal that you have. And of course, lack of community, lack of motivation. People, tend to quit as soon as the motivation fades off. And like the motivation can only keep high when you see other people succeeding. In our program, we see people succeeding every single day because we found a way for you to be able to stay accountable with each other. The code, like I said before, 4 rules. Try everything once without belief. We are a team of professionals. We know what we do. So you probably are going to have to try a few things you're not aware of, but it's going to work. Be impeccable with your work, right? Find more time for yourself. How many people say that they don't have time, yet we all have 24 hours in the day? It's about finding a way to be, to value your time, but also find a way to be doing the right things with your time, right? Your body is a sacred temple, treat it as such, and be resourceful. How many people want that other people give them the solution? They're never resourceful, they never even try. When it comes down to, like I said before, to getting success, it comes from support. Not the support, the kind of support, that comes from getting information, but a support from other people connecting in pain with you, connecting on the same journey as you, wanting the same things, experiencing the same, struggles and the same rewards and the same wins. This is a second chance. You're going to have a team of women with you that have gone through the same challenge or are going through the same challenge with you, that is actually gonna, even though you're not live with each other, you're still gonna be able to meet depending where you live, but most of the time, even by being virtually connected, you're gonna see a group support and you're gonna feel like somebody's motivating you on the difficult parts of the journey. Because we just said it, but we also it's very aware that you cannot rely on motivation, and I'm going to explain you why. You get motivated, and the motivation game is really simple, but you get motivated. You probably tried that before. You get motivated, you say to everybody, I want to change, I want to start a diet, I want to start a training protocol. You started maybe for a week, maybe for 2, you get some results, and then week number 3, week number 4, your body stops seeing results, giving you results, because obviously mechanism of compensation. It is pretty normal, you just have to adjust things. But people, what they do, they quit, because obviously they feel like the motivation is gone, almost like if the motivation was something that was hitting you like a flu or something, right? And the motivation dies as soon as you stop seeing results. When you build habits, the one thing that we teach you how to do inside this program, the bad habits building is very, very difficult. It's like I tell you, work out 2-3 times a week, right? And so for some people, it's actually pretty difficult. So you work out a couple of times the first week is difficult. So if it's too difficult, we're gonna try to work out once. If it's too difficult, we're gonna try to work out once 30 minutes, right? And until we find a formula that you can actually keep up day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, and last thing you know, this work is paid back, because obviously we found something that is so easy for you to do consistently. And the key to success when it comes to fitness is only one, is consistency. So you do need to see something that you can do long term. If you do not keep this up, long term, chances are it's not something that's gonna give you results permanently. And if you're not getting results permanently, you're not gonna be happy. We live in a world and there is 2 types of people. There is victims and there is people taking ownership. In this program, we teach you actually how to take ownership, how to become, how to focus on the person you want to become. If you're on the bottom here and if you want to be like the girls on top, there is going to be things you're going to have to do, but specifically there is going to be routines you're going to have to keep. There is going to be sacrifices you're going to have to make day in and day out. So there is 3 main things to get obviously up there, to get to the second chance. You need to take ownership, right? You need to be able to overcome problems. You need to see problems as problems. You need to be accepting failure as growth, so not even thinking about the possibility of quitting. You need to be dealing with pain, right? And not physical pain. I'm talking about the one pain that you don't actually feel, right? It's actually the pain that is psychological pain. You need to be, staying true to yourself, right? If you say you want to change, like I said before, you actually need to change identity, because if you're not succeeding right now, it's not for the strategy or for the diet. It's because you haven't not yet built the capacity to change your identity. You do not, obviously, is you will not always have to do only things that you like. Yet sometimes you're going to have to do things that you don't like. Example, if you always do cardio, and if I tell you you should definitely start to go to the gym or working out from the house doing a specific type of exercise, you need to do it, like it or not, because chances are if you're doing cardio 5 times a week and you don't see results, probably you're doing something that is not right for you, right? And the last, of course, the daily work. People tend to focus on the future all the time. How can I get to the summer ready, bikini shape, right? You forget about the daily work. The daily work will take you to the bikini shape, but if you do it every day, only if you do it every day, if you do it once a week, only when you feel like it, it's not gonna happen. So you're gonna have to build routine. You're gonna have to learn how to create space for yourself. You're gonna have to learn how to stop finding excuses. You will have to get better every single day, right? That is not about getting perfect or getting perfect action, right? Some people never take action because they feel like the action they're taking is never perfect, right? You need to execute with intent, right? If you're working out 1 time a week, you better do the best workout that you actually can do, right? We have missions in here. The Second Chance Elite Pad entitles mission, Mission number 1, we need to seek, results. You need to understand what are the facts, what are the starting point, right? Confusion, we live in confusion, overwhelm of information. You might have binges, you might have habits or poor scheduling. We need to figure out what is your starting point. Without your starting point, we don't know where to go, right? The question you're gonna always have for each mission, question that is gonna come up and internal struggles that you're gonna have. So the question is, how do I, how do I deal with fear of changing, and specifically, why do I actually want to change? If you cannot find an answer to this question, chances are you want to be complaining that before actually moving to mission number 2, right? Mission number 2 is planning, right? You need to prioritize yourself. If you're here, you haven't gotten the results, chances are you haven't prioritized yourself enough, okay? So you need to make space for yourself. You need to create new habits, new routines, new ritual that you actually learn how to keep up in the future with. Which are the question in this mission? How do you do that, right? It's more easy said than done. How do you make space? How do you create routine? How to build habits, right? The internal struggles, the internal struggles here is like use your time wisely without falling off into triggers or binges, right? Like everything with life is a trigger. You do not want to let the trigger, eat you. You don't want to overreact, and you want to stay in control. Mission number 3. Mission number 2 is executing. Taking constant action every single day. Finding a new strategy that you can actually keep up with that reflects your lifestyle. And of course, the question here would be, how can I find a strategy that will work for me according to my struggles? We talked about it before. You need to figure out something that works for you. Of course, you're gonna, in our program, you're gonna have all the knowledge you need, right? And all the help you need to actually find it with you. And you're gonna have to learn how to deal with doubts. If you doubting yourself every single time, probably you will not be able to actually keep the results. The last one, this is actually the mission number 4, be able to master your strategy. Okay, you need to be able to master your strategy. You need to stay consistent no matter what. You need to be able to actually be able to answer the question, who else can need my help? Because if you're able to say to other people what you're experiencing and what you're learning about it, chances are you're teaching this thing to yourself even better and you're mastering, right? By wording things, you're actually mastering. You're building a positive story behind it, right? And of course, the internal struggles here, it would be, fear of losing the results over time. Everybody's always fearful of losing the results. You're gonna need to actually to master everything you learn and to lead towards other people, your family and everything, just so you can actually learn how to get better and better every single day from the thing you actually know. The graduation is simple, right? Where you are in the beginning, on the side you see what you think you want, which is usually lose some weight, get fit, see my abs, and on top is what you really want. Like we said before, it's always come down to be more strong, to be more sexy, to be in, more confidence, to get more self-love. And honestly, all these things has an actual price, and what I mean is not the price you pay in money. This is actually the price you pay in sacrifice. The path to self-growth entitle you to understand that health is something that takes a lot of time. While 3 to 6 months might be enough, depending on your starting point, to see these changes, to maintain it most of the time it will take 6 months up to 2 years, because depending on your starting point, you really need to shift your identity. You need to shift your perspective, your perception. You need to shift your body language. You need to shift your perspective in a sense that you can actually keep the results that you're actually starting with. Everybody can do a diet for a few months, but the problem we have right now is the actual keeping the results. And you will see if you are in this program in the next few videos that we show you how do we tackle everything that we tackle in here, right? The truth, obviously, versus the belief. You understand that it would be so cool to get everything fixed in a few weeks, but depending on your starting point, if you did mistakes for years, chances are you cannot fix it in 2 weeks. Okay, hopefully these things is a good introductory video, and hopefully, if you are inside the program, you will see a lot more information, useful information. I hope this was helpful, and I wish you all the best.